What is up, everybody? It is Mr. J Pickles here, and right now I am going to go over the Lost Vikings and my preferred build with them. Now, they are three separate heroes kind of put into one, or I guess you could say one. No, they're one hero split into three. That would be a better way to put it. One hero split into three. You got Olaf, the big guy with the shield, Balog, the man with the swords, and then Eric, the little guy with the slingshot. Now, they each have their own kind of little traits and abilities to them. So Olaf, he has a lot of health. He's the tankier of the bunch. He will regenerate health when he is out of combat, and then he can charge enemies to slow them, which in a talent, you can also get it so it stuns them for a second. Balog here, he does a little bit of splash damage. He has a good medium range, kind of medium health, and as it says right there, Balog deals splash damage to the enemies behind his target. So he's really good at clearing waves. And there's some talents that I like to take to kind of buff that and enhance it. And then you got Eric. He is the fastest of the bunch. He is just like a lightning bolt. He can run so fast, and he attacks from really far away. So he's a nice poker. Of course, he doesn't do that much damage, so you have to be aware of that. And he's got like the health of a Murky, so you have to be careful with that. Their trait together is a fast restart. Their death timer is reduced by 25%. So expect to die a lot, but they'll come back quickly, which is good. Now, they are only worth 0.25 experience. Yes, there are 3 of them, so you have to kill them essentially 4 times, or at least the Vikings together 4 times. A little bit weird, but they die pretty quickly. I guess Eric's the quickest to die. Olaf's pretty good at staying alive. Balog, of course, is in the middle. And so be aware that they are only worth 0.25, so don't fret if you keep dying multiple times. I mean, they kind of are expected to. Let's go over their heroic abilities, which they gain at level 10. You got Play Again. All Vikings are revived and teleported to the Summoning Viking. So you send 2 in and 1 sits back. 2 of them die. Boom, you hit Play Again and they respawn right there. Or you can almost use it as a summon. So let's say we're on Tribute. We're on the Cursed Hollow. You have them all split throughout the lanes, and then there's one guy that's near the Tribute, and you're like, shoot, we need them all here. Wah! Summon them all right there. It's pretty cool. I personally like to go for the other ultimate, which is called Longboat Raid. You summon a longboat, and all the Vikings go on a raid. Now, the more Vikings you have, the more damage it'll do. The enemy team can kill the boat, which will then kind of null and void your ultimate. But if you position it properly, you can really get some nice execution off of it, and it does a lot of damage if left bothered. Or, I mean, I guess if the enemy team runs away, it won't do that damage. So the enemy, a lot of players have been realizing this and acting as such. Let's go over the talents. Now, they do not gain any abilities, like right when you start the game, level 1, they don't have abilities. They are purely auto attack base. It's through these talents that you can get their abilities. They have 4 of them, one of course being their ultimate, and 1 being their Q, their W, and their E. If you have different key bindings, then of course that'll sound a little bit weird and won't make much sense. So, level 1, tier 1, we got Olaf the Stout, which basically gives Olaf, only him, improved block. It's really strong, and depending on what the enemy team has, I love this talent. Spy games, it's really good if you don't want to really micromanage them all too much. You make Eric a little ward, basically. Now, if they have a Tassadar, bad idea. If they have pretty good eyes and they can see Eric just kind of glimmering there, it has the same kind of stealth mechanic as Nova and Zeratul. So if they kind of see Eric, he'll probably die pretty quickly, but you at least get a nice little ward. And then Viking Horde, each Viking gains 1 health per second, and the bonus regen is increased by 0.5 on all the Vikings when the health globe is picked up. So if you split them in 3 lanes and you really micromanage well, you can get that health stacking bonus very high. But from all my games, I've really only been able to get it like 33 health per second to maybe 40. It's really tough to do, and it takes a lot of micromanaging, and it also kind of encourages being separated for a lot of the time, which they're weaker, of course, separated, and they're a lot stronger when they're together. So I like Olaf the Stout the best. Viking Horde is my second choice. Spy games, not so much. I don't really think a ward is needed, but I mean, maybe you need it. So plausible, but overall I like Olaf the Stout. Moving on to the level 4 talents, we're gonna go over these pretty quickly. There's a lot of talents, of course, so I'll probably be writing a guide about this soon eventually. We got Pain Don't Hurt, Balog's attack, heal himself. It's Sabotage, Eric's attack, destroy structure ammo. Hard-headed redhead, that is difficult to say for some reason for me. And then Spin to Win, which is his Q ability. Now, if you do not take Spin to Win, then you will never have a Q ability, which isn't a bad idea. Spin to Win does good damage, but the damage does not stack. So let's say one hero is in between all 3 of your Vikings. If you Spin to Win, only one of those Spin to Wins will actually apply the damage. Now, it would be pretty probably OP if the damage stacked, but overall it does not. So this talent kind of went down in my must-haves. I really enjoy Pain Don't Hurt, allowing Balog, the guy in the green, to have extra health regen on his attacks. It helps him just kind of solo push a lane, so you can put Balog in one lane and then Olaf and Eric in the other lanes. Now, if you get confused by the names, don't worry. It's pretty confusing. Olaf, big blue, Eric, little red, and Balog, green. Blonde, I guess, but 2 of them. Whatever. So, I really like this talent the most. It's Sabotage. Really good in theory, but overall, I mean, if you want to drain ammo, you're probably just going to be running your mercenaries into it and kind of attacking it. It's strong, but I don't find a draw to it because at a certain point, it kind of loses value, and there's no real point in having it, you know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this talent. Hard-headed redhead, pretty strong, I would say. It's a good knockback. He does have to be in melee range for it to kind of work, and it's good, but it has its play style. I don't know. I haven't found a play style where I really enjoy it. And then Spin to Win, of course, we talked about earlier. So overall, Pain Don't Hurt is my #1 talent pick. Spin to Win would probably be my 2nd, followed by Sabotage and Redhead, maybe? I don't know. These 2, I don't really... Eric, I have no idea. You usually, by the way, when you're playing the Vikings, will find a favorite Viking that you really, really enjoy. Mine would be Balog. I love that guy. He's so cool. Moving on to the level 7s, we got Balog the Fierce, increasing his attack speed. Eric the Swift, he'll heal when he runs around. Mercenary Lord, which is like all the other heroes. And then Jump, which is the Vikings' 2nd ability on the W. It makes all the Vikings invulnerable for 1.5 seconds. Really strong if they have, let's say, a False Dad with Hinterland Blast, a Nova Precision Strike. I mean, really, if they just get jumped on, this is a nice little escape mechanic. I've picked this one up pretty mainly, but Balog the Fierce is honestly really strong as well because you're able to solo camps with just Balog. Maybe not the night camp. He'll probably need Olaf there to just kind of soak a little bit. But overall, Balog the Fierce is like really strong. And I mean, it helps him clear lanes. Of course, I would love something that buffs Balog. He's my favorite Viking out of all the Vikings. Mercenary Lord does have applications. I mean, if you have mercenaries pushing in all 3 lanes and you put 1 Viking in each, you're buffing all of them with Mercenary Lord. So there's definitely some applications to that. Maybe in the competitive scene, if you're really coordinated and you're like, all right, us other 4 heroes are going to push here, you Vikings push the other stuff, then you can take Mercenary Lords, take a camp, push that, and then the enemy team has to split. And, you know, if you're working really coordinated. Solo queue, I have a tough time picking it because most of the times in solo queue, people will just jump to those mercenaries to kill them as quickly as can. Jump, of course, is a great escape. I really like this talent. Eric the Swift, he's so fast, I would just send him back if he's ever injured and then run him back to lane because he's really quick. Overall, though, for this tier, Balog the Fierce is my favorite and Jump are my favorite. I really don't know. I switch between them both. I would say play it by ear, but both of these talents are really strong, and it kind of just, how do you feel you're going to be playing? Are you going to need that escape, or do you think you can kind of have Balog do some extra damage? Level 10, we go to the ults. I already mentioned these ults before. Longboat Raid and Play Again. I really like Longboat Raid. It's really, really strong and does a lot of damage if left unchecked. Going to the level 13 talents, we got Hunk Burn and Olaf. A hunk of burning Olaf. Gives them immolation, basically. Really good. Helps with mercenary clearing. If they have a stealthy Nova or Zeratul, nice to have that. Of course, you have to run next to them, which can be difficult. A pretty strong talent overall. Speed run. If they're about to die, well under 50% life, they run quicker. It's good talent for running away, but most of the time, if you're that low, you're probably already going to die as they are rather squishy. And then impatience is a virtue, which is kind of an improved, oh my gosh, what's the talent called? I need to figure out what the talent's called. What is it? What is it? Battle momentum. There we go. Battle momentum. It's kind of an improved battle momentum, but they all have to be attacked. If you get the most out of it if they're all attacking, which is really strong. And then impatience is a virtue stacked upon Balog the Fierce. Just helps kind of put their cooldowns down quicker. Of course, if you're taking impatience as a virtue, then you're probably only going to have 2 activatables, which kind of loses its point. So, do with it what you will. Overall on this talent tier, I really like impatience as a virtue. And Hunkaburn and Olaf. I think I choose Impatience as a virtue over Hunkaburn and Olaf. It's just a really strong talent. Yes. Number 16. Moving on. We got Large and in Charge. Allows Olaf to have a stun instead of a slow for his charge. Pretty strong, but overall I've noticed that I kind of cancel his charge on accident. So I kind of don't like that talent. The 64 KB Marathon. Get an additional 40% movement speed when activating Go Go Go, which is their Z. They don't have a mount. I guess it's not shown here. They don't have a mount, and so their Z is basically a sprint. It's like how Falstad has a fly, Abathur has a dig. The Vikings have sprint. They just run really fast. It's better. It's better compared to Sergeant Hammer's thrusters. That would be it. And they also get movement impairing, like, removed, so it's really strong. Followed by Norse Force, though. It gives them a shield. They gain 100 to 200 point shield depending on how many Vikings are alive. This shield is like 1,000 by level 16, I think. Like, it's super strong. On this talent tier, it's always Norse Force. I have never found the stun being really that great, or the Marathon. The Marathon has some applications. I would put it just under Norse Force, but giving them a shield gives them the extra survivability where it basically puts them on par with other heroes. So Norse Force, hands down, is really strong. And then the level 20, we got the Ragnarok and Roll, the checkpoint reached, and the sequel. Ragnarok and Roll just applies, you attack 2 different heroes. Really strong. The mortar range is increased too. If you're taking Longboat Raid, Ragnarok and Roll is like a must pick up. Checkpoint reached. Any dead Vikings are revived and summoned a second time 10 seconds later. So what you can do is basically you sit 1 Viking in the back, you put 2 in. I feel like I'm going to do the hokey pokey. You got 1 Viking out, you put 2 Vikings in. The 2 Vikings die, so you summon them right back. You send all the 3 Vikings in, and then they all die. 10 seconds later, they're back. Woo! That's so, I don't know. That was weird. Whatever. Basically, you put 2 Vikings in. They die. 1 Viking reses them with their play again ultimate. Then you send all 3 Vikings in ASAP. Hopefully, they all die within 10 seconds. Or maybe they survive. But if 1 dies, he is then revived. So, it's a pretty good talent. I haven't had the chance to really play with that play again talent yet. I've always loved Longboat Raid to really apply that damage for my team since I am playing the Lost Vikings, so it's pretty nice. The sequel, reducing, basically instead of a 25% death timer reduction, they get a 50%. Really strong. Their death timer is already pretty short. This could probably be super strong, though, that if you just plan on kind of dying a lot. Although I don't really like to die a lot, but that's a different play style, so I should try it out just to give you guys kind of a better sense of how this talent is. Overall, though, I always plan on going Longboat Raid, so Ragnarok and Roll is my pickup, but I will play around with Checkpoint Reach and the sequel in the future. Now, I'll show you the quick skins real quick. You got the basic skin, Skin Tint 2, Skin Tint 3. You got your pajama skins, You got skin tint 1, skin tint 2, skin tint 3. And then you got the master skin, which I love, by the way, because Balog looks like he's Loki. And then in the skin tint 2, Olaf looks like he's Captain America. I don't know what Eric is, but he looks awesome. These are the Lost Vikings. They are amazing. They are super difficult in playing, but I will have a gameplay video for you guys. I'll put the link down below in the description. I hope my insight was insightful to you. I think that makes sense. I do not know. Enjoy. Let me know what you guys think of the Lost Vikings. Let me know what other heroes you guys would like to see me try and explain to you, or at least give you a sense of my brain. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone it is for you. Take care.